So what makes a great teacher, Rachel? What do you think?
What makes a great teacher? We haven't figured that out yet. I mean, we have clear across our nation teachers that are letting students slip through the cracks. They're into pushing themselves. You know, we're basically standardizing our students. We're putting them through this section, testing them on what we just taught them, then moving them forward to another topic which they haven't really fully understood the last topic. So I feel like we're just moving them along in a too fast fashion to really figure out if they're succeeding or not, instead of just memorizing, and then regurgitating something that they won't remember in a semester or two later. And like Deborah Ball states in the article, What Makes a Great Teacher, she simply says that if the teacher doesn't figure it out yet in the beginning, then her students will fail, or his students will fail. And that's what we see typically. I know some teachers that are said they are English and literature majors, but yet they're given tasks to teach a field that they're not fully trained in. What does that tell you as our society? Like, we need to, if you're going into a study, you need to be able to know that study like you know the back of your hand. So Finland's got it figured out, and America, along with a few other countries, keep wanting to go finding what's their secret. And Finland's factors are based on their education. Their education is free, so you don't really have to stress about how am I going to afford to get my bachelor's or my master's. Most of their teachers are already master qualified. Along with their factors, they have free health care. The children come to school ready to learn. They're energized, they're awake, they're alert, they're everything that we need to be here. But we're not. And why? Really, why can't we figure that out? The level of respect that teachers get in Finland are 3 times the respect that we give our teachers here in America. They view their teachers as we view our doctors. Their pay is a lot higher. Their schooling is more time, and like I said before, their teachers, it's a must to have a master's. You don't teach unless you have a master's in that field that you want to teach. And the one factor that I really liked about Finland was that they collaborate. Teachers don't have this attitude as winner takes all. Teachers actually all talk to each other about what they're going to teach and how they're going to teach it, and they share that amongst each other. They don't just, oh, this is what I'm going to know, and I'm not going to tell Susie down the hall, because no. They have this system that works for them, and it's all about collaborating. So when students see that kind of cooperation, they see this like cohesion amongst their people, and it just makes the environment less stressful. Too with culture is because our country is so large and so diverse. The one thing that we like to see these comparisons with Finland and South Korea and all these other countries and say, okay, we need to follow their footsteps. But one thing I know that we have a problem in is our diverse culture, because we have these great minds and great diversities of people. This shouldn't be a surprise to us to actually come together as a whole and figure ideas out. But because of that cultural difference, you do have some that believe still today that work is more important than school systems. So that's when the other factor comes into play to our broken system in America. You know, you have to, when you come to America, or if you're born in America from the first generation of a culture that believes work is more important than education, you have to learn to accept and adapt to today's technology, to today's movement of moving forward, and that is education. Education has to come first. So we can make the change of, you know, following in Finland's footsteps if we all together believe that education is number 1 on our list. And that goes same with the government. The government has to put its money where its mouth is. It can't constantly be putting budget cuts on the table. People actually have to get involved and actually have to say, no, we're not going to allow that anymore. That's just not what we want you to do to represent us, and that's not what our senators are supposed to do. So therefore, people and culture play a huge part in this system. We have to say no to the government when it wants a budget cut. We have to remember to elect those that will support everything possible for this educational movement if we want to see the change.